Hello YouTube! Today I'm going to show you how we can publish our packages automatically to NPM every time someone does a git commit into our main branch. For that, we are going to use GitHub Actions and Semantic Release. If you have never heard about Semantic Release, it will look into all the commit messages we did since the last time we published to NPM, try to understand from all those messages what is the next version that we should publish, and then go ahead and do the publish for us. So that process becomes completely automated by having GitHub Actions and Semantic Release. So without any further ado, let's jump into my terminal. As you can see over here, I'm creating a new project using tsdx like we did last week. But if you have already a package that you just want to automate and follow along this tutorial, you are very welcome to do it. Now, when this finishes, I will just show you that tsdx already has some GitHub Actions over there. I will open Visual Studio Code so we can visualize those GitHub Actions over there, but in order for all of us to be on the same page, I will just go ahead and delete those GitHub Actions folder. Now, after that folder is deleted, I will go inside GitHub itself and I will create a new repository. At this stage, this repository can have any name. It doesn't need to have the same name as your NPM package, okay? So feel free to give any name to this repository. Then GitHub will give us some instructions on how to publish our code into GitHub. So I will just follow those along. I will do a git init, then a git add, and a git commit. The last three commands, I will just follow the instructions from GitHub, and after all of those commands, I can refresh my page and you can see my code over there. The next step is to create our action. So I will go over here, create on actions, and you can see that we have quite a few actions over there. We need to click on these more continuous integration workflows, and one of those continuous integrations workflows will be Node.js. So you can see it over here. We will click on set up this workflow, and now the first thing you might see is this name. And over here you can decide any name for that YAML file. It really doesn't matter, but in my case, I will call it publish. Then what do we have over here? We have on push to the branch main, all of these jobs will run. At the same time, if we have a pull request from any branch into master, that pull request will run all of these jobs as well. But in reality, if you want more than only to master, let's say that you have branches from development to production and you want to run everything that goes into production. Well, you can come over here and say main and then say also production. In my case, I want it to run everywhere, so we can just put this star over here and it will open in every single pull request. We will run those jobs. Okay, then the first thing that we have over here is jobs, and then this is the name of our job. We can change it to, for example, quality checks, quality, any name you want. I will just type it as quality because we are going to do the unit testing, the linting, everything that you want to validate before you hit the git publish, okay? Or sorry, the npm publish. Now, the first thing that we need to check over here is this runs. It's running now on Ubuntu, the latest version. You might want to run this in multiple versions of your operating system. So if you really want to do that, you can come over here into this matrix, and these matrix are all the options that exist. So you can come over here and say the following, OS, and I will say Ubuntu latest and Windows latest, okay? And saying those two, now our operating systems available in this matrix are Ubuntu latest and Windows latest. You can also decide to have macOS latest if you want to. Now, the only change we need to do is over here. I will need to come over here and do the following, matrix.os. So this matrix now has two operating systems and 1, 2, 3, 4 versions of Node. So we are going to create 8 possible jobs. Every single version of Node to Ubuntu latest and every single version of Node to our Windows latest. So we will have 8 jobs running. And what we are saying over here in these runs on is just to have that operating system that we are deciding to have, right? Now that that bit is out of the way, and we are running this in multiple versions of Node, multiple operating systems, we can start to look into what really matters for us, which is these steps over here. And this first one is just to clone and check out our branch. So this one is very needed, right? And then this one is just to set up Node.js. And as you can see, it's already using that matrix for the Node version that we are using. Then is our own commands. The first one is the npm CI, which is similar to npm install. Then we are building this library, we are running tests, and you can run a lot of other stuff over here. So for now, I will just say, yes, start the commit. I want this. I will say create publish any message that you want here. So any message you want here, it really doesn't matter. I will say commit the new file. And now I have that file over here. Okay. And you can see that if I go now to actions, it will start already a new action. And this action will take anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes, more or less. So as you will see in this video, I will do a lot of fast forward for you. Otherwise, you will have to wait all the time for me and for the GitHub Actions to run, okay? But as you can see already, you are running version 10 of Node in Ubuntu, version 10 on Windows latest, and then version 12 on both. So the more operating systems and the more versions of Node.js you put, the more jobs will run. If you are in a public repository, it's not a big deal, but if you are in a private repository, you have only 2000 minutes free. I think it's per month or per week. I will verify and put somewhere on the video. And after that amount, you will start to be charged for it. So right now, I will just fast forward this for you to not have to wait for all of this to run. Around 3 minutes after, as you can see over here, all our jobs finished their execution. Now, the next step, we are going to set up semantic release. So we will do semantic release CLI, and semantic release CLI, as you will see, will help us quite a lot to set up everything for it. So the only thing we need to do is an npx of semantic release CLI and type setup. Before we go ahead and do anything, let me just do a git pull, because we committed before our GitHub Actions into our repository, so to make sure that we are up to date. And now we can do npx semantic release CLI setup. And then it will prompt me with my npm username. In my case, it's bmv antunj. I will click enter, and now it requests our username and password. So I will type my password right now. I will click enter, and at this stage, we are going to need a GitHub token in order to create this. So let's copy this bit over here, go to your browser, let's paste that URL over there, and as you can see, it already by default is setting the permissions it needs. You need to create a name for this token. So in my case, I will say semantic release for YouTube video, so then I can delete this token, because I will not hide this token for you. You can see the token over here, but I will delete it immediately after the video. So you should never ever show this token to anyone, okay? I will just copy this token. Let me just see if this copied. Yes, it did. I come over here, I will do Control V, I will do enter, and then it's asking what is our CI system. For us, it will be the GitHub Actions. And now it will go ahead and create a new secret inside our repository for this npm token. Okay, I will show you as soon as this finishes. Now that it finished, we can go to our GitHub repository once again. And if I go over here, you will be able to see that in my repository, I can go to the settings, and now going to the environment over here and secrets, I will click on secrets, and you can see that I have my npm token over there. So based on my username and password from npm, we get the npm token, which we will need in a few seconds when we do the npm run semantic release. If we go inside our project once again, so I can do code dot. Now inside our VS Code, we can go into our Git differences, and you can already see that semantic release changed the version from a version that we had before to just a placeholder. As I said at the beginning of the video, we no longer need to care about the version. Semantic release will do that for us. Then, if we keep scrolling, you will see that it also added this semantic release over here for us, and we will need then to say the branches that we want to release from, because by default, semantic release will only do the publish from the master branch. In our case, we are using main. So let me just do main over there before I forget about it. And if you keep scrolling to the bottom of our file, we see a few more changes. One is adding the development dependency of semantic release, which makes sense. And then it's putting our repository over here, which also makes sense. So I can now save these, go back to our command line, and then the next thing that we want to do, let me just do a git add dot, I will do a git commit, and then we can go to our GitHub repository and play once again with the GitHub Actions. So let me just add semantic release, I will do a git push, and now that you have this pushed into our repository, we can go over here, and if you start to see how semantic release works, you will see that semantic release will require a specific commit message format, and that's based on the Angular commit format, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just say Angular over here. And yes, it's based on the Angular commit message conventions. And so what does it mean? Let me just zoom this for you. And you can see when you are doing a fix, you will put it on this way. And now you start to probably think, oh, Bruno, that's even more complicated than keeping versions. I agree with you. So that's the reason that we have another tool called Commitizen, right? I never know how to type Commitizen, so Google will help me out. And when you have Commitizen, you can go over here and set up Commitizen. And Commitizen will open a window like this every time that you do git cz. It will open a very, very nice window. So it will help you with your commits, and you don't need to know all of those tedious messages out of your head. And so let's go over here to npx, and they have a way for us to set it up, which is over here, npx commitizen init, and we will just copy that, and you will see that as soon as I copy that and let it run, which will be another 2 or 3 minutes, so another fast forward, but as soon as that finishes, we will be able to go to our package.json and add over here into our package.json, over here into our package.json, another command called commit. And that commit will just do git cz. So commit, and I will just do git cz. Right there, right? And now I can go back to my terminal, and it didn't finish yet. So right now I will fast forward this for you. Right now, when it's finished, you can still do your git add dot like you were doing before, but now instead of doing git commit, we will do npm run commit. And when you do this npm run commit, now git cz will run. Let me just run this again. Git cz will run, and you will get these very, very nice message helpers for you. So let's say that we added a new feature, whatever feature that was, and let's say that feature, you are creating a blog and it's on the user settings that you change something. So you will do user settings, you will click enter, and now over here you can put a message. So we added a new picture to the user, for example. I will click enter, then I don't want a longer message. You can say that if you have breaking changes or not, because this will impact the way that semantic release will create the version of your package. In my case, I will say no, which is the default. I will say that it doesn't affect any open issues, but if it does, you can say the issue number, and then when it creates the release for you, it will put a nice link between your release and the issues that you fixed. Now that that thing happened, I can do a git push, and you will see that all of those files are now over there on GitHub Action, on GitHub. We can go over here to our GitHub Actions right now. So I will just go to my code, and I will open our workflows folder, the publish YAML file, and I will click on the edit button. And over here, you will see why I love to use this bit. Because if you come over here, you have all the helpers that you might want to have. So I will call this next job, I will call it the publish job itself. So I will do publish, I will click now enter, and over here if I do control space, you can see that I have autocomplete for everything I might want to have. I will say that it will run, for example, on Ubuntu latest, and I will also say that in this specific job, I will need the previous job to be finalized. In this case, the quality job. So if a unit test fails into our quality job over here, I don't want my published job to run, right? In a second, I will also add an if over there in order to only run these if we are in master, okay? So in case we are in a pull request, like I'm saying here, let's say we are in a pull request to master, this will run in the branch. So I don't want to publish from that branch. I really want to publish when the commit is on master, not when there is a pull request to master. So we will add that diff in a few seconds. But before we add that diff, now we are in a very good stage to say the steps. And so let's just do the steps. And in those steps, I will say the same thing that we said before. I will use the checkout and I will set the environment for Node.js. So let me just come over here, do a Control V. And at this stage, the last bit we want to do is npm CI, just to install our packages. And as you can see on the right side of the screen, you can have a cache over there. So if you feel that doing npm CI in two different stages of your process is making stuff a little bit slower, you can use this action over there called cache, and it will keep your node modules into cache if you want to, right? Now, the next step after we do the npm CI will be to run, let me just remove these spaces, will be to run semantic release, right? And now, as we have this, we will run semantic release. Semantic release will understand the commits that we have and decide the next version to run. Before we just commit this bit, let's just go over here. And as you can see in this context, I will leave all of these URLs into the video description if you want to investigate it a bit more yourself, right? But we can have this if that I had already highlighted. And once again, we will have autocomplete for this, but what's happening over here is just myself checking if the reference where we are on is the main branch. And if it is, I want to run my action. So I can come over here. After the runs on, I will put that if, and as I was saying to you, if I do github dot, as you can see, I have all of the autocompletes that you might want to have. And that's the main reason I run all my actions code inside this little editor, okay? Now that we have all of that, and I think we have everything to publish the first version of our package. So let's do a commit. Let's just say something over here, added publish job, for example, right? I will commit that one. And now if I go to the actions, we will see if it will run or not. It might run, it might fail, we will see, and then we will fix it. We can already see that our action failed. So we can go inside and see what it failed. And you can click on the job, click once again, and we can see that it failed. So let's just read the error. Can only install packages when your package.json and package lock or are in sync. Please update your lock file with an npm install. So let's just do that. Let's just do an npm, first a git pull, then an npm install. This once again will take a few minutes to run. Now we can commit this again, and we will see that our actions will then run. So I will just do an ASD in a fix. I will just say ASD in the commit. I really don't care that much about the commit message at this stage, right? I just want to push it to then see our action to run. So if I come over here and I now click on actions, another action started, we can click over here and hopefully this time all our actions will run. And when they run, we will have a version on npm. To be honest, even before it finished, I am already 100% sure it will fail because we didn't put our npm underscore token as the environment variable. So while this thing will run, and I'm 100% sure it will fail, we can go already into here, open our GitHub Actions in our VS Code, and the only thing I'm going to do over here at the bottom will be to have an environment, and that environment we will just do the following. Oops, 1, 2. I will say npm token column, and then I will just say the secrets dot npm underscore token, npm token. So let's put this one, secrets dot npm GitHub token. We can even copy paste to avoid any typo. I will save this one. We can now come onto our command line, do our run ACP. We can even say that it was a fix package JSON, and now add GitHub token just to have a better message for once. And now this one will commit, and now we can go over here to our actions, click in actions, click on this one, and wait for it to run once again. And as you can see now, we have a successful job. We can even now go to our code, and if you click over here, you can see that we have releases over there. I will click on the releases, and now you can see all the stuff that we did for those releases. You can see that we have a proper change log of what happened in our release. So if we have a branch, let's say called development or something like that, and you are putting a lot of features there and a lot of bug fixes, every time that you then merge it into the main branch, you will have a very nice change log in your releases, which is very, very nice. Now, you might be asking, Bruno, show me it on npm. So let's go to npm now, npm.js, and I will put this over here, and I will now get, oops, I probably pasted something wrong. Let me just do enter, sign in. I will sign in with my username, and it should be inside my account. So I will come over here. Let me just say save. Yes, yes, Google Chrome, save it for me. I will have my profile, and as you can see, it's already there, right? I can click on this one, and now I have version 1.0.0. Now, before we finish this video, I want to show you how to do a pull request, and more importantly is how you can approve that pull request in order for semantic release to pick it up. So let's just create a new file over here. Let's come over into our VS Code, change something in our index. Let's say, I love you all, and I will just do this. I will say, this is now a feature, right? And I will do the following: git checkout -b fit / new message, right? And now that we have that, I can do our typical npm run ACP, right? And I will just say it's a new feature, and it's on the file index.tsx. And I will just write a short message, add a new message saying, I love you all. Enter, enter, enter. Let's just do this. Oops, git push. And now that, oops, good job, Bruno. Very good job. So let me just delete this. Now we are pushing our branch, and I will open the pull request. So let's come over here where we are going to open the pull request. So I will go to code. I will create and compare, and now I will just say create the pull request. And now when you merge, you need to be very, very careful when you merge. You need to click here, and you will need to say rebase and merge, okay? Because if you just say all commits from this branch will be added to the base branch via a merge commit, so we will lose all our nice messages. So if you do this, then semantic release will not pick it up, okay? If you just do rebase and merge, which is something that I set by default usually, then when you rebase and merge, semantic release will pick it up and run everything for us. So as you will see, I will just wait for this to finish. I will click merge this pull, well, not merge. I will say rebase and merge and click that button, and then I will show you on NPM that new version. Now that all our checks passed, we can come over here, click on rebase and merge, click to rebase and merge, confirm rebase and merge. This will be merged into our main. And now if you open our actions over here that run in that specific branch, as you can see in feed/new message, which was our branch, you can see that publish was skipped. And it was skipped because of that if we added at the beginning saying github.refs equals to our main branch, right? So our publish didn't run. Now we can go back to our repository, come into our default branch, right? And when this becomes a check, we can go into our npm package, do a force refresh, and you will see that we will have a version different from 1.0.0. As you can see, we already have a green tick, so I can come to my package, and now if I refresh, you will see that we will have a new version from our package, and that version should be 1.1.0 because we added a new feature. If we had done a breaking change, it would have become 2.0.0, or in the case of a bug fix, 1.0.1. Alright, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any question or any suggestion on how to improve this, let me know in the comments. I will try to answer all your questions, and without anything else to say, I really hope you enjoyed this, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye!